What's going on, basketball fans, and welcome back to NBA GOAT News. Last night's showdown between the Utah Jazz and San Antonio Spurs was an absolute nail-biter, going down to the wire. The Jazz squeezed out a hard-fought 111-110 victory. Let's get into the action. Colin Sexton came to play, leading the charge for the Jazz with 23 points. From fearless drives to confident mid-range shots, Sexton was relentless, giving the Jazz the edge they needed to stay ahead. And then there was Lauri Markkanen, who added 20 points of his own. But it wasn't all smooth sailing for the 7-footer. With just under 3 minutes left, Markkanen took a scary fall, landing hard on his left hip. The crowd held their breath as he stayed down for several minutes, but talk about heart. Markkanen got up, played through the pain, and helped see this one through to the end. On the other side, the Spurs' Victor Wembanyama put on a show that had fans buzzing. The 7'3" giant was electric, dropping 24 points, snagging 16 boards, and swatting 7 shots. And get this, he was 6 for 9 from beyond the arc. This giant is not just a paint-dominant force, he's got range. Speaking of young talent, Steven Castle stepped up big time for the Spurs. The 20-year-old notched a career-high 23 points in just his third NBA start, showing flashes of brilliance and fearlessness against tough defense. Spurs fans were also excited to see Devin Vassell make his long-awaited return after being out for 7 months with a fractured right foot, and he did not disappoint. Vassell dropped 18 points, going 8 for 11 from the field, and showing that he hasn't lost a step. His presence on the floor is exactly what San Antonio needs as a complement to Wembanyama. Now let's get to the play that sealed the game. With just 9 seconds left, the Spurs trailing 107-104, Wembanyama tried to muscle through a pick set by Jordan Clarkson. The whistle blew, offensive foul. San Antonio challenged the call, but the refs upheld it. Clarkson went to the line, calmly draining free throws to push the lead to 109-104. One key factor, the Jazz owned the paint, outscoring the Spurs 54-34 inside. That inside presence made all the difference in a game like this. In the end, it was Utah's resilience and timely execution that carried them to victory, but San Antonio showed they're on the cusp of something special, with Wembanyama leading the way and young stars stepping up. Last night, the Cleveland Cavaliers had an electric showdown against the Brooklyn Nets. Let's break down how the Cavs extended their scorching 11-0 season start with a thrilling comeback win over the Nets. Early on, it looked like the Cavs were cruising. Evan Mobley, a rising force, was dominating the paint. The big man put on a clinic, racking up 23 points and snagging 16 boards, showing everyone why he's the future of this franchise. But don't get it twisted, the Nets were here to fight. After trailing as many as 15 points in the second quarter, the Nets flipped the script. Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas got red hot, combining for a brutal third quarter performance that left Cleveland stunned. With Dennis Schroeder chipping in 22 points of his own, Brooklyn stormed back, outscoring the Cavs and holding them to a season-low 13 points in the third. Suddenly, it was the Cavs playing catch-up, down 82-68 with just 35 seconds left in the third. But you know what they say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And oh boy, did the Cavs finish strong. Darius Garland took control in crunch time, scoring 8 of his 20 points in the final quarter. This guy was ice cold under pressure, putting the Cavs back in the lead with 2 clutch free throws at 97-96. Let's talk about the play that sealed the deal though. With the Nets leading 96-89 and just 4:23 left on the clock, Johnson buried a triple that looked like a potential dagger. But Cleveland wasn't fazed. They answered back with an electrifying 10-0 run, highlighted by Garland threading a perfect pass to Mobley for a slam that brought the house down. This was the moment that showed Cleveland's heart, and you could feel the energy shift back in their favor. Here's what stood out: the Cavs' resilience and the leadership of new head coach Kenny Atkinson, who clearly had extra motivation facing his former team. Cleveland's offense was unstoppable when it mattered most, hitting 14 of 18 shots in the fourth. With this win, the Cavaliers are now just 2 games shy of matching their longest winning streak in franchise history, a record set with none other than LeBron James at the helm. Can they do it? Only time will tell. But this squad is on fire and doesn't seem to be cooling down anytime soon. Last night, the Chicago Bulls put on a show and reminded us all why you can never count them out. After being down nearly 20 points, they stormed back in an epic second-half surge to take down the Atlanta Hawks 125-113. Let's break down exactly how they snapped that 4-game losing streak and delivered a statement win. Early in the game, it looked like the Hawks were in complete control. Atlanta came out firing on all cylinders, dominating the first quarter with a 37-24 lead. They even pushed that lead to as much as 18 points. Clint Capella and Jalen Johnson were cooking, each putting up 20 points by the final buzzer. And Trae Young, another day, another double-double. 14 points and a whopping 16 assists. But even with that kind of stat line, Atlanta's week of relentless play, 5 games in 7 days, started to catch up with them. Fast forward to the second half, and the Bulls were not ready to roll over. They chipped away at the lead, showing flashes of resilience. Ayo Dosunmu was the man with the hot hand, leading Chicago with 19 points, and let's talk about Nikola Vucevic, 18 points and 12 boards, a true double-double machine. Plus, you can't overlook Zach LaVine and Kobe White, both adding another 18 each to fuel the comeback. Now, here's the turning point. Midway through the fourth quarter, with the Bulls trailing by 1, Jalen Smith threw down a monster dunk that electrified the United Center and gave Chicago their first lead at 102-101. From that moment on, it was all Bulls all the time. In the final stretch, Chicago went on a dominant 14-3 run, outscoring Atlanta and locking down on defense. The Bulls shot an impressive 9 of 16 in the fourth quarter while holding the Hawks to just 6 of 20. Every possession counted, and Chicago's relentless effort sealed the deal. Talk about a statement win. The Bulls not only ended their 4-game losing streak, but did it with grit and determination. This wasn't just a game. It was a wake-up call for anyone sleeping on Chicago's heart. Can they use this momentum to turn the season around? We'll have to wait and see, but if last night was any indication, they're ready for battle. And last night's showdown between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Toronto Raptors at the Inuit Dome, it was a nail-biter until the very last second. Starting off, it was a high-stakes clash as the Clippers came into this matchup riding a 3-game winning streak. But Toronto, despite recent struggles, wasn't going to go down without a fight. And boy, did they make it close. James Harden was in prime form for LA, dropping a double-double with 24 points and 12 rebounds. This is the kind of performance Clippers fans have been waiting for. And let's not forget Norman Powell, who was an absolute spark plug off the bench with another 24 points. These two kept the Clippers' offense humming through a tense back-and-forth game. And shout out to Zubac, Mr. Reliable in the paint. He chipped in 14 points and snagged 12 boards, crucial for maintaining the Clippers' presence inside. Now let's talk about Toronto's relentless push. Emmanuel Quickley, in his first game back after an 8-game hiatus, didn't miss a beat, dropping 21 points and showing incredible poise, especially in the fourth quarter. And he wasn't alone. Abayi matched him with 21 of his own, showcasing a balanced attack that kept the Clippers on their toes. Now the turning point. 39 seconds left on the clock. Quickly drains a massive 3 to tie it up at 103-103. The crowd was holding their breath, but this is where things got wild. Harden and Powell combined to miss 3 out of 6 free throws in the dying moments. It felt like they were giving Toronto the perfect opening. Toronto had not 1, not 2, but 3 chances to steal the win. Quickley and RJ Barrett both missed contested short shots, and Jakob Poeltl's 9-foot putback, it was so close you could feel the collective gasp as it bounced out with just 4.1 seconds left. With that, Harden did the smart thing and threw the ball down the floor as the final buzzer sounded. Clippers fans, you could finally breathe a sigh of relief. The final score, 105-103 Clippers. For more NBA games, highlights, and recaps like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.